Hello students, I hope that you are fine. Thank you for joining today's session. I'm Sashwati and I'll be your host today towards learning more details on coordinate geometry. So let's start with the objective for today's class. So the coordinate geometry actually for grade 10 CBSE consists of 6 marks, and you will expect only 1 mark, 2 mark or 3 marks question on it. Generally 4 marks question is not given, but you cannot be very sure about it. But till now it's only 1 mark, 2 mark and 3 marks question, and the total marks allotted on this particular chapter is 6 marks. The objective of this class is that we will learn about some basic concepts, we'll revise on some basic concepts on coordinate geometry. We'll also discuss some conceptual questions and you will answer me through some multiple choice options. And let's start. This is a Cartesian coordinate system where you can find the x-axis and the y-axis. So the vertical axis is the y-axis and the horizontal axis is the x-axis, right? And the point where they meet together, we call it as origin, right? And the coordinate of this particular point is 0, 0. So we already know it from the previous classes, from younger classes. The important point here you can remember is that if we write the coordinate as, for example, AB, then A represents the value of the x-axis and the B represents the value of the y-axis. And A is called the abscissa or B is called the ordinate, right? So the x-intercept, the next concept is the x-intercept and the y-intercept. So for example, if you find that this is a line segment, right, and it intersects the horizontal axis and the vertical axis at these points, okay, and so this point we call it as that the distance from the origin and the point of intersection of the line and the x-axis, we call it as x-intercept. Okay, and the point of origin and the distance between the point of origin and the point of intersection between the y-axis and the line, we call it as y-intercept. So this will do some answers and questions regarding how we can calculate the x-intercept or the y-intercept within today's class. So formula and facts that you need to learn and remember for this particular lesson is that the first thing is that the basic general formula for this equation of any straight line is y is equal to mx plus c, where m we call it as slope and c we call it as intercept. Okay. Now, if it is given that, for example, any particular equation is given, equation in one variable, for example, then you can calculate the value of slope and the intercept by looking into the equation. We'll also do some examples within a few moments. The next important thing is that, for example, you have 2 points, for example, A and B, and both have different coordinates. One is x1, y1, and one is x2, y2. Here you can see the example. So we can calculate the slope of the particular line by this particular formula, that is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. This is the slope. Slope, that means the m value within the equation of y is equal to mx plus c. And this knowledge towards finding the midpoint of a line segment by particularly using this particular formula, that is half of x1 plus x2 and half of y1 plus y2 is the midpoint of this particular ordinate value. Okay. And also things to importantly remember is that if the two lines are parallel, for example, then the slopes or the m value should be equal for parallel lines. And if they're perpendicular, then the product of the slopes of the two lines should be -1. Now let's start with an example here. For example, you have this line segment, okay? And let's the equation of this particular line segment is y is equal to 3x plus 5, okay? Well, generalized, we can compare with the general form, that is y is equal to mx plus c. Just now we discussed. So this is the general form, right? And now you can compare the value of m. You can find out that if the value of m is 3, right? And this is the slope. So if we compare any equation given with this general form, that is y is equal to mx plus c, then we can calculate the slope of this particular for any equation or any equation of the line. Okay, let's see another example. This is an example of another line segment whose equation is given as 5y plus 7 is equal to 3x. Okay, so firstly, please remember that first we have to convert it to the general form. So general form, you know that it is y is equal to mx plus c, right? So, but it is given as 5y. So we have to rearrange it and we have to see that we can write it in the form of y is equal to mx plus c. That means we divide by 5 both LHS and RHS, right? And then we find out that it is y is equal to 3 upon 5x minus 7 upon 5. Okay, now it's easy to compare. So what's the slope, students? Can you tell me the slope of this particular line? Yes, it is 3 upon 5 because we compared with the general form y is equal to mx plus c. Now, let me test your knowledge. Over to you. This is a line segment given, okay? And you have to find the slope of this particular line segment, okay? Now, the equation of the particular line is given as y is equal to 7x plus 9. Okay, now the options are 1, 7, and 9. Come on. Your time starts now. Yes, the correct answer is 7. So here you have done a great job. And let me test your knowledge a little bit. Let me twist your brain. So this is the second question. So this is a line segment whose equation is given as 7y is equal to 14x minus 1. Okay. So what you have to do, you have to also calculate the slope of this particular line segment. And the options given are minus 1, 2, and 14. Come on, write down in the chat. Let me see how many of you can write down the answer correctly. Your time starts now. Come on, quick, write down the answers. Compare it with the general form, y is equal to mx plus c, yes. Yes, this is an easy one. Very good. Well done. So the correct answer is 2. Very good. Well done. Awesome. Now, how will you calculate the slope of a particular equation if, for example, only 2 points are given, like x1, y1 and x2, y2? Let's see with an example. So, for example, the point A is given as 3, 2, okay, and point B is given as 5, 6. And you have to calculate the slope of this particular line segment, which has these 2 points A and B. Okay, so let's use the formula of y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1, right? And we can calculate the slope. So we find out the slope as 6 minus, so y2, so y should be on the numerator, right? So 6 minus 2 divided by, so x2 is 5, 5 minus 3. And that comes out to be 4 upon 2, right? Which is the value is 2. So this is the slope of any particular line segment where you are given with only 2 points and you know only the 2 points coordinate. So you can calculate the slope even when the equation is not given through this formula of y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. You can consider, be very attentive about this point. Like if you consider this point as the first point and this point is the second point, stick to both y and x while considering it. For example, many students make a mistake while considering the y. They consider it as this is the first point, this is the second point, and while considering x, they consider it this is the first point and this is the second point, and they get an error. So be very careful, students, about considering strictly to a particular thing. For example, if you consider it as first point, then stick both to x and y while calculating the slope of this particular line. Okay? Okay, let's proceed. So this one was the slope of this particular line where we know only the two coordinates. Now, let me see your knowledge of understanding. So you are given with a line segment where you have to find out the slope, and the 2 points given are A minus 5, 3 and B as 2, 4. Okay, now the options given are 1 upon 7, 5 upon 8 and minus 5. Your time starts now. Let me see how many of you can answer their understanding. Please write down your answer in the chat. Let me see, let me check. Yes. Yes, the correct answer is 1 upon 7. Okay, so the correct answer for this particular point, for this particular set of question is 1 upon 7. So you have to use the same formula as given here, that is m is equal to y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. Well done, students. Very good. Now, going to more details of calculating the x-intercept and the y-intercept of a particular line where we know the line segment. So as discussed earlier, what is intercept? Intercept is the distance from the point of origin and the point of intersection. Okay, so if the point of intersection is the y-axis, then this intercept we call it as y-intercept. And the opposite is true for the x-intercept. So the distance from the origin and the point of intersection of the line and the x-axis, we call it as x-intercept. Let's see how we can calculate it. Okay, where y is equal to 3x minus 5. So this is the equation that is given to you. Okay. So how will you calculate the x-intercept? So you know that x-intercept means the distance from the origin and the point of intersection with the x-axis, right? So we can calculate with, for the x-intercept, we have to replace y is equal to 0. Why? Because the equation of this particular x-axis is y is equal to 0. Every point which lies on the x-axis has ordinate as 0. That means y is 0 for every point which lie on the x-axis. Okay, so please remember, so we have to only substitute y is equal to 0. So in this equation we are putting y is equal to 0 and we have to find the value of x. Let's do it. So we are just replacing it as LHS as 0, which will be equal to 3x minus 5. Okay, now 5 we can move it onto the other side, right? So we can get 5 is equal to 3x, right? Which gives that x is equal to 5 upon 3. So 5 upon 3 is the x-intercept. Please remember, for calculating x-intercept, we have to substitute y is equal to 0. Okay, and the other exactly is the opposite is true for the y-intercept. So for y-intercept, we have to put x is equal to 0. Why? Because every point on the y-axis has the abscissa as 0 or x as 0. Okay, let's proceed. So this is the x-intercept. Okay, now for the same question, how can you calculate the y-intercept? So y-intercept can be calculated by putting x is equal to 0. Just now we discussed. So the value of y for this particular question becomes, so 3 times 0 is 0. So y is becoming minus 5. So it's becoming the y. So y-intercept is coming out as minus 5. Please remember, for x-intercept, substitute y is equal to 0. And for y-intercept, put x is equal to 0. Okay. So this is how we can calculate the x and y-intercept of any particular line. Okay. Now, let me see. How have you understood? So this is a line segment whose equation is 3y is equal to x minus 18. And you have to calculate y-intercept. Okay. Options are 18, minus 6 and 6. Your time starts now. Write down the answer in the chat. Let me see how many of you have understood it correctly. Try your best. Okay, well done. So the answer is -6. Okay, I hope that you have answered it correctly. It's -6. Great job, students. Well done. Keep it up. Now, coming to the further details of this chapter, that is distance formula. All of you might be knowing about this thing, but let me revise it. So the distance formula, or the distance between 2 points, is that, for example, 2 points are x1, y1, and x2, y2. So we can calculate the distance by this square root of x2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. So x1, x2 are the coordinates or abscissa of the 2 points, and y1 and y2 are the ordinates of the 2 points. Okay. So let's do examples here. Okay, most importantly, if for example, you have to calculate the distance of any point from the origin, so you know that the coordinate of the origin, right? So the coordinate of the origin is 0, 0. So you will just replace it with 0. So root over x minus 0 the whole square plus y minus 0 the whole square, and it becomes root over x square plus y square. Okay, so this is how you can calculate the distance of any point from the origin. Okay, let's see with an example now. So it's given that we have to find out the distance between the points -8 by 5, 2 and 2 by 5, 2. So this question has already come as a 1-mark question in 2010. So let's start. So this is, for example, we can consider it as x1, y1, and the second point we can consider it as x2, y2, right? Anything we can do it, but we have to stick to it. So you can do it vice versa also. You need not choose the first point as the x1, y1 always. But if you consider the second point as x1, y1, then you can consider this the other one as x2, y2. Nothing is a problem. Why nothing is a problem? Because it is a square. So square of negative and square of positive is always positive, right? So whatever you take. So that's not a problem. So let's calculate using the distance formula. Distance formula is x2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square root over. Don't forget to write down the formulas. Formulas have a mark. So please be careful about including the formula within your answer paper. Okay, whenever you write down the answers. So just substitute these values and you get down as 2 by 5 plus 8 by 5. So this is x2. x2 is 2 by 5. Minus minus becomes plus. So it becomes plus 8 upon 5 the whole square, right? Plus what is y2? y2 is 2, right? So y2 becomes 2 minus 2. So 2 minus 2 the whole square becomes 0. So the second part becomes 0 and this answer comes upon 10 by 5 the whole square, which becomes 10 upon 5, which is 2. So this 2 units is the distance of these two particular points within the Cartesian system. Okay, so this is how we can calculate. Now let me see how far you have understood. Let's see. So the question is the distance between the point P, that is 1, 4, and Q, which is 4, 0, is, options are 25, 5, and 6. Calculate. Your time starts now. Come on, come on. Take out your paper and pen, please, and start doing. Calculate it. Write down the answer in the chat. Yes. Come on, students. Everyone should participate. Everyone should participate. Yes, very good. Excellent. So your right answer is 5. Okay. So the correct answer for this particular question is 5. You have to use the same formula, that is root over x2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. Okay, well done. Awesome. Awesome. I'm so impressed. Well done, everyone. Okay. Now, after the distance formula, what we have to do in this particular chapter is section formula. The section formula is we have to find the section of any particular line segment. So any particular line segment, let's see, imagine this is a line segment and this is point X, point A, which is x1, y1, and this is point B, which is x2, y2. Okay. Now, this is a point P, for example, and the coordinate of this point P is xy. Okay. And we have to, the ratio of the point AP is to PB is suppose m by n. Okay. So this is the section. So point P divides the line segment AB in two sections, and it can be any ratio, for example, m is to n. Okay. So according to the section formula, I'm not deriving here the section formula. Mostly you will get applications of section formula in your questions, in your tests, in your exams. So how can you calculate? I'm just telling you a small trick, how will you remember it? So here, if you see AP is m and PN is n, so you have to multiply m with every coordinates with point B. Okay. So this is vice versa, we have to remember. So m times everything, whatever is there at point B, and n times whatever is there with point A. It is just the opposite. So your formula is x is equal to m times x2, okay, plus n times x1, because we are calculating x, right? So everything numerator should be x, but the ratio which is multiplying is just the opposite. So mx2 plus nx1 divided by m plus n. Okay, so this is the x value or abscissa of this particular point P. Now similarly, it will hold true for y, that is the ordinate as well. So it becomes m times y2 plus n times y1 divided by m plus n. Okay, so this is the section formula, and high chance you will get questions from this particular concept. Let me see the application. So for example, just an extension of this formula. So if the ratio of this m and n is equal, that is m is to n is 1:1, then it becomes the midpoint formula. Okay. So what is midpoint formula? For example, A and B are the 2 points whose values or coordinates are x1, y1 and x2, y2 respectively. Okay. So, and there is a point P whose coordinate is xy in this example. So what I will do, if it is 1:1, that means by applying the same formula just now we saw in the section formula, but it is becoming more easier where m and n value is 1 and 1 respectively. So it becomes x1 plus x2 by 2, right? And y value becomes y1 plus y2 by 2. Please remember it. So midpoint, if the midpoint question comes, then you are lucky and it becomes easier for you. So then m and n value are 1 each. So x is x1 plus x2 by 2 and y is y1 plus y2 by 2. Okay. Okay. So let's see, how have you understood? So this is the question. If the midpoint of the line segment joining the points P and Q, okay, is 2 and -3. So the point, so let me draw the diagram first. So you have to find the value of B, and this question has already come in CBSE for 2 marks question. So how can you do it? So from this particular question, midpoint theorem, if you remember, since it is given the midpoint, so we know that the midpoint abscissa or x value will be what? X1 plus x2 by 2. So what is x1 here? X1 is 6, right? And what is x2, which is -2, right? And divided by 2 is the same midpoint formula, which comes out to be 2. And 2 it is given already. So it is verified. So it is the midpoint. Now we have to find the value of B only, and B is in the ordinate part. So or the ordinate part is y1 is b minus 2, right? So we can write b minus 2 plus 4. Okay, so b minus 2 by 4 divided by 2, and it comes out to be minus 3 because it is given only. This is the midpoint. So 2 and minus 3 are the coordinates of the midpoint. It is given in the question. Read the question twice, thrice, how many times, unless and until, because everything is hidden within your question. If you misunderstand the question, then everything will be wrong. So please read the question many times, unless and until it's crystal clear. Don't jump to answer. It is advised that you can also draw the diagram for better understanding of the question. So it becomes, now just solve for it. So let's solve. That becomes b plus 2 by 2. So minus 2 plus 4 becomes plus 2. It becomes by 2 is minus 3, and the value of b comes out to be minus 8. Okay. So in this example, the value of b comes out to be minus 8, and you get 2 marks out of it. Okay. So this is how you will do it. Let's see another question. So in what ratio? So think about it, students. For the section formula, you can expect two types of questions. Okay, so one type of question is that where the ratio will be given and you have to find out the coordinate of a particular point. Or else it is possible that you are given the coordinate of the points and you have to calculate the ratio of the particular the point, how it is dividing the particular line segment. Okay, so either you have to calculate the ratio or the coordinate. This is second part. So in the last part we calculate the coordinate. Okay, and in this particular example we are calculating the ratio, and this question also has come in the CBSE 2017 for 3 marks question. So let's see. So the line segment is given as x minus y minus 2 is 0. Okay, and the lines given are, let's draw the diagram first. So it is given at 2 points. Let me imagine as 3 minus 1 and 8 9. Okay, and this is another line segment. This is a second line segment which is cutting out this particular line, the pink line here. And this equation is given as x minus 2 minus x minus y minus 2 equal to 0. So this is the equation. And what we have to find out? We have to find out the ratio for how it cuts. So AP by PB. So let's start with, let the coordinate for point P is X and Y. And P is the intersecting point of this particular lines. Okay. So let's start. You can think whenever, please remember, whenever you have to find out the ratio, it is advised not to use as M and N, but instead if you write K and 1, K or R or any letters, so I'm using the example letter K and 1, then it becomes much more convenient to solve the particular question. Okay, so please use this particular tip to solve whenever it is given that you have to calculate the ratio. Okay, so K is 1. So please write it down on your notebook. So let the ratio of the particular line segment dividing the AB is K is to 1. Okay, so now you are applying the formula for section formula. So section formula, according to section formula, what is X? So 8K. Why? So abscissa is 8K plus 3. So 1 times 3 becomes 3 divided by K plus 1. And similarly, Y is becoming 9K minus 1 divided by K plus 1. Correct? So this is according, we have just applied section formula. And the P lies in this green line as well. That is X minus Y minus 2. Correct? So P lies on the line X minus Y minus 2. And hence it satisfies this equation. So we have found the coordinate in terms of K. And this we can apply it within this particular equation. Okay, so let's solve it like K. It is given X minus Y. So we have put just X. So 8K plus 3 divided by K plus 1 minus. So then we have to write Y. So Y is what? 9K minus 1 by K plus 1, right? So just write it down. And minus 2 is 0. So we are just solving it, solving the value of K. Now you know already how to solve the K, but still I'm showing you here. So you can calculate the value of K, for example, as by similar substituting, like 3 minus 3k. So you have done the LCM of k plus 1, right? And you have just written the numerator like this, and k plus 1 is multiplied by minus 2, and this becomes 0. So now you do the cross multiplication, right? So k plus 1 times 0 becomes 0. So 0 plus k, 0 times k plus 1 becomes 0. So the right hand side becomes 0 and left hand side becomes minus 3k plus 2. And here you can find out that k is minus 3k is equal to minus 2, or k is equal to 2 upon 3. Okay, so minus sign becomes cancelled out. So this is the particular ratio where you need to find out the k. So if the, what is the ratio? K is to 1. K is to 1 means what? 2 by 3 is to 1, right? So 2 by 3, the ratio is 2 by 3. Answer is 2 by 3. Okay, so this is how you can use m by n. It is not an obligation, but it becomes, your work becomes much more easier if you use only one variable, that is k, instead of two variables m and n. Okay. Okay, now let me see how far you have understood. So this is the ratio, it's 2:3. Over to you. Get ready with your paper and pen, and this is your question. So if the point C, okay, if the point C, I'm helping you with a diagram so that you don't do mistakes, you know, I'm just giving you the hints. So if the point C, which is minus 1, 2, divides the line segment AB, the ratio of 1:2, you have to calculate the point and point A is, so let me show it with the help of diagram. So this is A and B, okay. A and B is given as minus 10, 2 and minus xy. So you don't know the value of xy, okay. And here, this is the point C, which is dividing the particular line segment in the ratio of 1:2. So this is 1 and this is 2, okay. Now you have to calculate the value of x and y. So you can apply the knowledge of section formula, but here it is given minus 1 and 2 is given. You have to find out x and y. Use section formula, be quick. So let's see. Options are 7, 2, 10, 2 and 17, 2. Your time starts now. You have to only calculate the abscissa for your better understanding. The 2, that is the ordinate, it is already same for everything. So it is fixed. Calculate the abscissa. Use apply section formula. Your time has already started. Be quick. Come on. Everyone, write down your answers in the chat. Let me see how many of you can do it. Yes, come on, come on. Apply section formula. Yes, 18, 17. Very good. Well done. Okay, so your correct answer is 17.2. Okay, so this is our next question. If the distance of the point P from the 2 points A and B are equal, we have to prove that 3x plus y is equal to 5. So this question is also very important question, students, and it has already come as a 3 marks question in the year 2008. Okay, you can expect similar questions in your examinations. So understand the question through the diagram. So it's given that if the distances of a point P, which is whose coordinate is xy, from the points A and B. So it is, you can apply the knowledge of distance formula as well here, right? So it is PA and PB are equal. It is given that PA and PB are equal because distance of the point P from these 2 points are given, are equal. And you have to prove this particular relationship between the x and y. So that's your question. Okay, so let's apply distance formula here. X minus 3, again, just to remind you, you can consider this as x1 y1 and this one as x2 y2 or vice versa, not a problem, but you have to stick to both x and y, the same thing. So here I have just written that x is this particular point whose coordinate is P. So P is given as xy. So PA is given that x minus 3 the whole square plus y minus 6 the whole square is equal to x minus of minus 3. So PA is this one and PB is this one. So x minus of minus 3 the whole square plus y minus 4 the whole square. Okay, so this is PA and this is PB, and it comes out to be after squaring both sides. So you can square or so remove the square root, and it comes out to be x minus 3 plus y minus 6 the whole square, which becomes x plus 3 the whole square plus y minus 4 the whole square. Okay, and then you will just simplify it. You can use the a plus b whole square identity or a minus b whole square identity, right? And you know that it is a square plus 2ab plus b square, or it's a square minus 2ab plus b square. So we just apply that. So it is a minus b. So it is x square minus 6x, right, plus 9 plus y square minus 12x plus 36. Okay, it is becoming x square plus 6x plus 9 plus y square minus 8y plus 16. So it's just simplification, it's expanding. And then you get the value. You can simplify. You can see that x square and x square gets cancelled out. 9 and 9 gets cancelled out, right? Also y square gets cancelled out here. Okay. So only thing remaining. So take the remaining things and you can simplify it further. So your answers becomes 12x minus, 12x plus 4y is minus 20 is becoming equal to 0. Okay. You can divide by 4. So it is a common multiple of 4, right? So it is coming as 3x plus y minus 5 equal to 0, which comes out to 3x plus y is equal to 5. So that one only you have to prove, isn't it? So you have already proved. So this is how you will do it, these type of questions. Okay. So you can expect these type of questions in your examinations. They are very, very, very important. So now this is the last question, which is you can answer it in my comment section. So this is the question: find the coordinates of the point of the trisection. So I'm giving you slight challenged questions. So trisection means I will explain you, and the line segment joining 1, minus 2 and minus 3, 4. It is also come in CBSE before in previous year, and this is as your homework. Okay. You can calculate and write down the answers in my comments. Now I will explain you what is there in the question. So it's given that the points 1, minus 2 and minus 3, 4. Clear? So let me name it as AB. So it is A is 1, minus 2 and B is minus 3 and 4. Okay. So these are the 2 points given. And so trisection means, let's imagine 2 points. Tri means 3. So we can imagine 2 points within the particular line segment so that there are 3 equal parts. So trisection means, bisect means what? Bisect means dividing into 2 equal parts. Trisect means divided into 3 equal parts. So it is given that AP will be equal to PQ will be equal to QB. Okay. So it is already given. Now what you have to calculate? You have to calculate the coordinates of the points of the trisection. So you have to find the value of P and you have to find the value of Q, both points. So you have to find the value of P and Q. Now let me provide you some hints to my dear students that while you are calculating the point P, forget about Q. Okay. So whenever you are calculating the point P, forget about Q. Similarly, while you are calculating the coordinate of Q, forget about P. And think of the ratio. What is the ratio? So this is 1:1:1. So that means whenever you are forgetting Q and finding the coordinate of point P, what will be the ratio? 1:1:1 is the total ratio. But whenever you are imagine that you are forgetting Q, imagine the ratio. Try and let me know your answers. So we have come to an end of our today's class, today's session. I thank you wholeheartedly for joining. I hope that you have understood some parts of coordinate geometry much more deeper with this discussion. And thank you for joining. Please don't forget to subscribe and like my videos and put the bell icons on to get further updates on my videos. Have a nice day.